Hello and welcome to another episode of the Scornavacco Martial Arts Instructor Tip of the Week. Today myself, Mr. Mike, and Mr. Clark are going to be taking you guys through a couple of our different basic training tools and pieces of training equipment and showing you guys how you can use them at home to help strengthen your student in home practice. I hope you enjoy. The first piece of training equipment we're going to take you guys through is called our blocker pad, and it's used for exactly what it sounds like. We use this to help our students train their blocks in their basic positions. So today we'll be taking you through the upwards, inwards, outward, and downward positions to help facilitate blocking. So what we'll do with the student is have them into their training horse first, knees bent, toes pointed straight ahead. What we're going to do is have them working their block from the chamber to coming out and meeting the strike in, like I said, the upward, inward, outward, and downward positions. As you can see, his goal is to reach out and meet the pad as it comes in versus just putting his arm there statically and hoping I just happen to swing there. Because from a self-defense perspective, if he puts his hand up there and I want to punch him, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go, oh look, there's his nose. So you're going to want to meet the strike as it comes. This can be both used for power, so he can do his block as hard as he can, or we can do this for speed, where we're going from one position to the next in a rapid succession. You guys can do this with one hand at a time or with both hands alternating. That's up to you. One hand at a time helps teach that one hand speed from block to block. Using both hands helps develop the coordination to free up one hand or use the most efficient hand for the side. For example, if I'm swinging at his right, the right hand would be most efficient versus left. The left would be most efficient most times. We can also do this from a neutral bow, which changes the range he has to block with a little bit. No longer does he have to block all the way out here because there's a smaller surface area to strike. The nice thing about doing this in a neutral bow as well is we can get him moving now. So what we'll do is every time I swing, he'll step back and block with his front hand. And then we'll go again. And once more, always with the front hand, which is the hand closest to the threat, making it easiest to pick up the attack. The next piece of training equipment we're going to take you guys through is our focus pads. These are primarily used for hand targets, things like punches, elbows, heel palms, anything like that. They make a nice substitute. You can still generate power without worrying about injuring your partner. So once again, we'll start in a training horse here. The important thing to remember really when learning to use these is what the person holding the pads does versus the person that's doing the exercise. For the person holding the pads, you want to make sure that these pads are not directly in front of your face. Because anytime this is directly in front of your face, if he hits that with significant enough power, it's going to come back and you're the next thing in its way. So what we'll do is have you just take this to either side of your head, angled in just a little bit, so he can strike back and forth to a relatively small target without you being in danger of being behind those pads. Try not to make these too wide, as this is no longer the size of a human head. You want to try and make this as close as you can to about the size of at least shoulder to shoulder, if not narrower, so you're more accurately representing the striking zone he would be looking at. The other thing you might notice is when he's punching across his body to the opposite pad, so that any glancing strikes he has slip off and go to the outside of your body, versus if he did the same side, it would glance off and the next thing on the path is my head again. So these are meant to keep you safe, not put your head in danger, so please make sure you hold them appropriately. A couple of really easy things we can do with this is just work on speed. So anytime I have the pads closed is when he knows it's not time to punch. We can use these to flash. We can just use these for power. We can put him in a neutral bow and really generate power with that back hand. We can even do some blocking work with this and kind of mix it up. So maybe I have his front hand block like we were doing in the star block drill and his backhand attacks. So this can become something that you guys can do a wide variety of things. It's very adaptable. It's really nice for any type of hand power generation, whether it's punches or heel palms. We can even work elbows in here. These are great all-purpose tools for any upper body striking. Our final piece of training gear we're going to take you guys through today is called our kicking shield. It is designed entirely so that your partner can practice his kicks with full force without you having to worry about injury of being struck. So the way we hold this, generally speaking, we'll put one hand through both the back pieces here, keeping the hand open and then flat against the body. If you make a fist when you have this and the fist is located on your chest, there's a chance that when he kicks you, you could feel like you end up punching yourself in the stomach. Some people it doesn't bother you. I prefer to have my hand open, whatever works best for you. I do strongly recommend that this is against your body so that when he kicks, the power is directly transferred to you in a smooth transition. If this is held away from your body, it's going to shoot back and potentially injure you if he gives you enough power. So for a much easier transition, hold it against your body, relax. When he gives you the kick, exhale, and just move and let your body be moved by the power of the kick. So this pad in particular is more for generating power with either kicking leg versus speed, thus the thickness of the pad. So we can do things where he would be doing maneuvers so let's do a crossover side kick. So where he's getting his body weight into it and generating a lot of power versus just touching the pad like we would do for a speed drill. So feel free to let your students just wail on this pad. I like to, instead of facing front, where I have no brace behind me, I like to side off, kind of like our neutral bow. Put one shoulder against the pad as though I'm holding a door shut. And then when he throws the kick, just relax and move where the pad pushes you. Very nice tool to use at home. We can use this for combinations, for power kicking, but it's very nice for them to have something to hit that's not you. We hope you guys enjoyed this week. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to check back next week when we take you guys through some punching drills you can use with those focus pads. Thank you and have a good day.